it's the No Face Movement. And it's January the 14th, 2013. I'm bringing breaking news. The technology from the movie, remember, the Minority Report is finally here, and they're using it in Maryland and Pennsylvania. Let's get into the article. And this is Mail Online.
Minority Report has arrived. Maryland and Pennsylvania using computers to predict future crimes. Parole officers use software to decide level of supervision for ex-inmates. Uses algorithm devised by American criminology professor Richard Burke. When police and Minority Report predicted who would commit crimes and stop them before they did it, it was considered so futuristic. The film was set in 2054. Now, however, law enforcers in 2 American states are using crime prediction software to predict which free prisoners are most likely to commit murder and supervising them accordingly. Instead of relying on parole officers to decide how much supervision inmates will need on the outside by looking at their records, the new system uses a computer algorithm to decide for them. The Minority Report style software is already being used in Baltimore and Philadelphia to predict future murderers and will be extended to Washington, D.C. soon. It has been developed by Professor Richard Burke, a criminologist at the University of Pennsylvania, who believes it will reduce the murder rate and those of other crimes. Professor Burke says his algorithm could be used to help set bail amounts and also decide sentences in the future. It could also be modified to predict lesser crimes. He told ABC News that currently parole officers are using their own judgment to decide what level of supervision each parolee should have based on their criminal record. His software, he said, replaces that ad hoc decision-making and should identify 8 future murderers out of 100. He said people assume that if someone murdered, then they will murder in the future. But what really matters is what that person did as a young individual. If they committed armed robbery at age 14, that's a good predictor. If they committed the same crime at age 30, that doesn't predict very much. Professor Burke's researchers used the details of more than 60,000 crimes, then wrote an algorithm to find the people behind the crimes who were more likely to commit murder when they were out of prison.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. Let's get back in there. You can see the pictures, but they're not using what I call, what are those called, oracles. Alright, but it's just crazy how they're using a computer to tell you if someone is a murderer or not. Alright. That's against freedom of choice, freedom of will. Computers can make mistakes, and depends on who you are. They could throw you away in the system forever, throw away the keys on you. Let's move on.
Criteria including criminal record, type of crime, location, and age at which the individual committed the crime were analyzed, with type of crime and age proving to be the most reliable predictors of future crime. He said even his students at the University of Pennsylvania compared his work to Minority Report, the 2002 film starring Tom Cruise, in which gifted humans called precogs can see into the future and predict who will commit crimes. In the film, Cruise plays the elite crime squad head, Chief John Anderson, who himself is accused of committing a murder in the future. Professor Burke's work has been described as very impressive by Sean Bushway, a professor of criminal justice at the State University of New York at Albany. However, he cautioned that human rights campaigners might see that the extra supervision mandated by the software for those deemed most likely to murder might amount to harassment.
And that's just crazy, folks. Imagine what the technology on this, since it's just a brand new software. It was just introduced in Maryland and Pennsylvania. Imagine 10 years from now. Imagine really the year 2054. How would it be? Alright? I think in the year 2054, it's going to be a whole different world. We won't understand it. Not right now. Just in 100 years, in the 1900s, we went from horses to cars to computers. Now we're going from computers to mobile devices to the future, folks. There's a lot of stuff going on. Alright, I want everyone out there to still be prepared. Bug out kits in your home and your place of business. And your car, never know when a national disaster or a catastrophic event could happen. This is one of the parts of the New World Order, or the Illuminati that controls the world, is going to use and amplify on people. Alright, folks, what about the people from Hurricane Superstorm Sandy? Alright, I'm going to do a follow-up report, wondering how they are doing. They all went in those FEMA camps for real, with guards 24/7. Are they being tested too on this Minority Report? This is the No Face Movement. Moving to the next time. Facing off.